Oh, hey, it's Pete Thorne. Welcome to the studio. Check it out in my hand here. I hold the HEATSEEKER pedal for my friends at Crazy Tube Circuits. This pedal is meant to capture the awesome late 70s into 80s into 90s tones of AC/DC. Some of my favorite guitar sounds of all time. Of course, they're famous for using our favorite guitars from Kalamazoo, Michigan, combined with our favorite amplifiers from the UK. So this pedal combines three great British-style amps in one box. A JTM45 style circuit, more of a super lead or JMP style 4-hole Marshall circuit, and then 2203, 2204, what became the 2-input JCM 800 amps, that's included in there as well. So three different sort of gain ranges and voicings on one toggle switch there. And then you get another toggle switch here that's called the wall of sound switch, which basically adds lows and low mids and opens up the sound stage. And I kind of just preferred it on all the time. But if you want to get a slightly, I would say a little bit more scooped sound with a little bit less output, you can run it in the off position. Controls here kind of recreate all the controls you would expect to find on an amp like that, with a volume control, that's really like the gain. Then you've got a 4-band EQ presence, treble, mids, bass, and then you also get a master volume. Now what makes this pedal really unique is over on this side, there's a boost circuit, and this boost circuit recreates the sound of the late 70s classic Schaefer Vega wireless system. So for those that don't know, Angus started using that wireless system, which I believe was the first wireless system ever made, and that wireless had this kind of boost and compression expansion circuit built into it, I think is what it was. And he actually started to re-record with it. So like supposedly the Back in Black album was recorded using that, and maybe other albums into the 80s, I'm not sure which ones, but he liked the sound and he actually used it in the studio. And this boost side you can use independently. So if you just want to turn that on, you can, or you can stack it with the ampy side. So you get a level control for the boost, and then you also get this enhanced control. And what this does is it just kind of supposedly increases the dynamic range of the signal. What I hear it doing is just kind of opening up the sound as I turn it up. It's quite subtle, but it does sound sort of a little bit more like darker and a little less dynamic when it's down. And then as you turn it up, it just kind of like opens up the sound. Almost in the way that I hear a negative feedback control and an amplifier do the same thing. Lower settings are a little softer, a little more subdued, and as you raise it up, there's less negative feedback in the amplifier. My PT100 has this. The sound just sort of opens up, gets a little bit bigger, bolder, a little bit clearer on the top end, and you can kind of find your magic sweet spot in there somewhere. So on the track at the beginning of the video, I did some Gretschy stuff with the Gretsch. For that, I used the 45 mode, a little bit fatter in the lows, a little bit less drive. And then when I went to my 335, I played the guitar on the right channel with the super lead setting on that guitar. A little bit more plexi super lead, a little less bass, a little more aggressive, kind of getting into Angus territory. And then for the lead parts, I actually went down to the 800 mode, so a little more gain, cranked up the gain here, hit the boost, all that good stuff. So I'm going to play some more through the pedal now. I'm going to show you how I got the various sounds. You're going to hear each of the modes real clear, hear what the boost side does. Let's get to it. It's the HEATSEEKER from Crazy Tube Circuits. So I just recorded the first part of my tune here, and for this, I borrowed this Gretsch. So I'm just on the bridge pickup, of course, and doing a little JTM45 Malcolm type thing. I kind of purposely went for, you know, like a little bit loose, not super tight gain. Kind of get that JTM45, like a little bit more rhythm guitar, you know, early Marshall broken up sound. Right? Without the pedal. Sounds pretty cool. Got the first little two-way toggle here in the upper position, which gives me, you know, more punch and a little bit less compression and more volume. It's a little fatter, you know, and I don't know, it just sounded right for the part. I've got the presence down a little bit as well, and the treble just a little bit below noon. Mids are at noon. Bass is up at around 1 o'clock. And this is with the kind of the volume, which serves as the gain on this pedal, on about half. So let's just bring it up a little bit. You know, it gets up there, it gets pretty soft and squishy in this 45 mode because there's more low end in the front end and stuff like that. But when you keep it down, let's turn it down a little bit, actually, down like 10 o'clock. You know, it's like Tweed Bassman there. Right, and get into that mode, that's with it down around like 9 o'clock. It's a little squishy for me outside of the mix and stuff, but in the song, it actually works, and it sounds a lot like those, you know, kind of early AC/DC records. If you listen to them, the tones are all over the map. I find early AC/DC really interesting. If you go record to record to record, you know, go high voltage, power age, like listen to the different records, and how much the guitar sounds change. They change a lot, and the kind of amount of distortion and just how bright they are. Some of them sound positively like ear-splittingly bright, and other ones are real nice and kind of dark and warm. It just depends. And then later on, if you get into like the Ballbreaker album or the Rocker Bust, you know, you get into that New York City song and stuff. I kind of copied that riff a little bit. You know, that kind of thing. It's real clean on Malcolm's side. It's like kind of like this tone that I've got going right now. Anyway, cool for those 45 and Bassman kind of crank tones. Now, I just picked up my 335 because I decided I would play the Angus kind of stuff on this guitar. Love this guitar, and it's got a killer early patent number, real low output bridge pickup. I noticed right away that when I plugged it in, when I've got this lower gain setting going, when I switch over with this guitar that doesn't have hot pickups at all to the super lead mode, check out what happens. That's a pretty damn cool guitar sound. It's real clean almost, but it's like once, you know, you get out of that 45 mode into the super lead mode, and all the clarity comes in and it tightens up. Wow. That just sounds like super cool for that kind of tone to me. And I haven't changed a thing from the Malcolm-y tone that I used on the first part. I might add a little bit more gain, because Angus generally had a little more gain than that, and I think it'll sound cool in the song to have a little more gain. But I just wanted to show you that angry bark thing is pretty badass. And of course, you can hit this with the boost if you like this kind of pissed off rhythm guitar sound, and it'll get more pissed off and more gain. Let's hear what that sounds like. But it is kind of a cool, sort of pissed off, almost like, Alright, so the tone I ended up on here, I've got the volume on about 2 o'clock, and I've got the presence and treble back a bit below noon. The presence is down actually around 9 o'clock, and the treble's around 11. But I had the bass up kind of high, maybe around 1 o'clock, and it was like this. And I've got the boost circuit on, but I've got the enhance way down. Now, the enhance at first, I was like, what is this doing? Because it's quite subtle, but I hear it now. I'm going to show you what it does as I turn it up. Maybe you hear it, it's going to be, like, it's subtle. So it's like, but I definitely hear it more high-end and a little bit more, it's almost like an oral exciter or something as you turn it up. It just gets a little bit more open sounding, a little bit more harmonics and stuff like that in the tone. And right now I've got the boost volume set for just like a little bit of boost. Wow, like really a little bit of boost. I would say I almost had it at unity gain, so I was barely using it. It just sounded good to me where I had it. Around 10 o'clock seems like is maybe unity. I'll turn it on now again and turn it up a bit. So now you're hearing it definitely boost up around noon. Seems like Unity's around 10 o'clock. If you turn it all the way down and the boost is on, there'll be no sound. So it's like Unity's not at 0, you know, just so you know if you get the pedal. It's up around 10 o'clock, I think, it seems like. So now I'm going to go and dial up a lead sound, I think, and play some solos and stuff. And I'm going to do that in the higher gain mode, which is supposed to be more like a 2203 or 2204. All right, so here's the sound I ended up with on the solo. And I'd say I've got like 6 dB of gain or something boosting in. So this is the 800 mode. And I've got the mids up, the bass up a little bit, treble and the presence are about 10-30, both of them. Let's flip this switch. The WOS switch, it definitely pushes everything forward and makes the sound much bigger, which I needed for this to push through the rhythm guitars for sure. All those great AC/DC amp sounds and really just kind of Marshall in a box sounds, plus the added Schaefer Vega style wireless system boost, makes for a unique pedal that's unlike anything else out there on the market, really. And it looks really cool. It's red. Matched my 335 nicely. Go to the Crazy Tube Circuits website. Check it out further if you like. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the thumbs up. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Lots of people watch the vids but aren't necessarily subscribed, so please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm Pete Thorne. See you for more videos real soon. Take care. Over and out.